I can't put it into words, and I'll be real. I'm not real sure how I feel about, the love at first sight concept, but all I know is this, that whenever I walked in the same room with her, I couldn't stop staring at her. It was weird because I didn't visit church with the intent of trying to find someone to date. I was going through a lot at that time in my life, and dating, that was the very last thing on my mind. I was hoping that if I gave it a few weeks, maybe the feelings for her would pass. But something in my gut kept telling me I needed to get to know her. She had such a mature and caring spirit for someone to be so young. It took me a long time to introduce myself to her. I think it had a lot to do with her mom. Her mom, she reminded me of one of those Secret Service men who worked in the White House protecting the president. And in addition to being scared of her mom, I was never the most suave guy when it came to the ladies. I never dated in middle school or in high school. I never had a real relationship. And after the first few weeks of attending church, I knew I had to take a chance. But there was only one problem. I didn't even know if she was dating someone else or not. So I decided to hire Bob as my personal private investigator. My boy's job was to find out as much dirt on her as possible, or should I say, find out every bit of information about her without letting her know that I was digging her. Weeks later, my boy Bob's investigation was complete. He came back and told me, "Good news, E. She's single." I learned once that the Romans considered Cupid to be the god of erotic love. And while I was never a believer of Roman or Greek mythology myself, there was something magical about my emerging romance with Didi. I grew to love her. I grew to love her in a way that I've only seen articulated in fairy tales. My relationship with Didi would prove to be a huge swing of positive momentum in my life. When I think about it, I guess you could say that Didi was really more than a girlfriend. She was my best friend. She was constantly looking out for me. She had my back. Whether it meant giving me her allowance so I could have money to eat, or sneaking me in her house in the winter to sleep in her closet when I was between living situations, it didn't matter. Didi had my back. And you know what? She never let me down. She was my angel, sent straight from God himself. Principle 10, stop sabotaging yourself. While my love for Didi was growing exponentially, if there was one thing about her that bothered me, it was her mouth. She never held anything, anything back. If she thought it, she said it. I don't know why you hanging out with those boys on Mark Twain so much. You need to make up your mind. What do you want? Are you trying to get your life together for real, or are you just saying that to impress me? You know you're going to end up going to jail or getting killed just like everybody else out there on the streets. I'm not visiting you in jail either, Eric. Eric, are you listening to me? God knows Didi was the love of my life, but I promise you, it didn't seem like she had a sensitive bone in her body. She was constantly nagging me about school. I used to think Pastor Willis put her up to pushing me into getting my GED. Pastor Willis knew, he knew I had a soft spot in my heart for Didi, and that I was bound to go take that test, just off the strength of the love I had for her. But whenever I think about Didi and how much she harassed me about getting my life together, I always think about the relationship between Coach Larry Brown and the Detroit Pistons. I remember once, the starting point guard, Chauncey Billups, he appeared on ESPN Hot Seat right after Larry Brown was fired. He was asked, which coach the players like most, their former coach, Larry Brown, or their new coach, Flip Saunders? Now keep in mind, Larry Brown had won a championship with the team just a few years prior. Chauncey gave a real diplomatic answer. He said The verdict is still out. But the rumor was that Flip Saunders was more of a player's coach, and the guys couldn't stand Larry Brown, his no-nonsense style of coaching. Brown's philosophy was that defense wins games, not offense. Flip Saunders, well, he was different. He gave them more freedom on defense and allowed them to open up on offense whenever they wanted to. In short, the players may have liked Flip Saunders more for his laid-back style, but they never, ever won a championship under Flip Saunders. I felt the same way about my relationship with Dee. I felt like she pushed me too hard. It was as if she had forgotten about all my hardships, all my struggles, everything I had gone through. But Dee Dee wanted me to be a champion. She said, "You are sabotaging yourself, hanging out on the block. One minute, you're in church praising the Lord. And the next minute, you're on the block hanging out with drug dealers and thugs. As far as I know, you could be selling drugs too. You were out there in the street an awful long time. It's time to get serious, Eric. And I'm not playing with you anymore." I wouldn't admit it then, but you know what? She was right. Dee was pushing me toward greatness, but I was scared. Man, I didn't intend to do it, but Dee Dee was right. I was purposely sabotaging myself and my chances of succeeding, and the momentum I was gaining, it was quickly fading away.
Chapter 9. Enough is enough. You will not experience all life has to offer you or begin to experience life at its fullest as long as you are satisfied with mediocrity. You have to be disgusted with your current circumstances before your circumstances can change.
Sometimes in life, you have to be smart enough to know when life presents you with a golden opportunity. And you have to be courageous enough to take advantage of it. In my relationship with Dee Dee, that was my golden opportunity. But the pressure was mounting. My mother used to say, there are two types of pressure, good and bad. And Mom used to put it like this: pressure can bust pipes, but it also can make diamonds. And son, you're a diamond. Now, before Dee Dee and I hooked up, I gotta be honest, the only pressure I ever experienced was the pressure of smoking weed, joining a gang, selling drugs, or the worst of all, losing my virginity to an absolute stranger. Eric, we need to talk, Dee Dee said in her, and I mean business voice. All right, but let me give you a kiss on the neck first. I haven't seen my boo in days. And as I was going in for the kiss, stop playing. You play too much. You can't never be serious about nothing. Well, at least let me hold your hand, I said. I knew she was serious because that top lip curled up. I grabbed her hand. I sat down on the top stair of the porch, looked her straight in her eyes and said, "Holla at me, boo. You have my undivided attention." Eric, what's up, boo? Do you love me? What? Do I love you? I was a little hurt, kinda. What do you mean, do I love you? What kind of question is that? Do you? She asked me again and again with that weird look on her face. Yes, you know I love you. Well, I met with my school counselor today, and she told me I have enough credits to graduate on time, and guess what? What, boo? What? I'm going to college. Wow, boo. I'm proud of you. The fact that I had recently dropped out made her graduation even sweeter. For real, boo? Like, for real? Man, I'm proud of you. Are you really proud of me? She said in that voice that sounded like more of a question than a statement. What's that all about? I asked her, kind of confused. It's about our future. That's what it's about. I'm going to college, Eric. Eric, I'm going to college and I'm not staying in this state. I'm going down south. And more importantly, I want you to come with me. You want me to do what? You want me to come with you? You and I both know that's not possible. It is possible. It is. All you got to do is go get your GED. You don't think I know, Eric? You don't think I know? I don't think you know what? You don't think I know Pastor Willis told you if you get your GED that he would talk to one of his friends in the admissions office and they would get you in college. Immediately, my neck started to twitch. It was a natural reaction every time I got nervous. I don't know, Dee. Man, boo, I don't know. I thought you said you loved me. Do you or don't you? She asked. What does me loving you have to do with me going to college? Hell, this is the first time you ever mentioned that. This is the first time you ever told me you were going to college. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just stop everything? Just give up my whole life because you're going to college? Like, am I supposed to pack up my life and follow you? Follow you down south just because you graduate from high school and you going to college? Eric, what life? You didn't finish school. You don't have a real job. What life are you referring to? I thought I was your life. Let me put it like this. I'm leaving for college in August, and I don't plan having no long distance relationship. So either we go together or I continue a relationship with somebody else down south. Principle number 11.